Welcome back, everybody, to River Ave Radio. My name is Ryan. I got Kyle with me today. How you feeling?
Feeling good. The Yankees keep winning. They lost one game in the Texas series the day that I started Will Warren on my fantasy team, of course, but that game doesn't count. So really, we've won like 20 in a row.
I saw somebody posted about it on Twitter. It was like the Yankees are 16-1 in the last 18 games not started by Nathan Eovaldi.
Yeah.
So it's a very exciting time for the Yankees, and it's getting more exciting because this is, real fast, just getting started out. Before I jump into that, just want to remind everyone, please subscribe, like, leave comments. We're in the season in full swing, and things are very exciting, and we're gonna keep making content for you, and we would love it if you interacted. So keep on doing that. And secondly, I want to talk briefly about the Yankees and them being more aggressive this year. I don't think this is a change in their aggression. I think this is a change in their options and their depth. I think this is the first time they've really had this much depth. I mean, Ben Rice obviously we're very high on, but he was not this good last year. George Lombard Jr. is ready. He's knocking. A lot of our pitchers are knocking, and things are just looking a lot better in Yankee land than they have in the past.
Yeah, I really do think that a lot of people going into the year said that we were running it back, which in terms of the active roster at the start of the year, like I get it. Like there was literally I think 95% of the
Yeah.
people on the team last year are on the team this year, and especially the starters. Like there really weren't any new starters on the major league roster this year besides like I don't know, Jose Caballero, but that was just because of an injury. But I think when people say they're being more aggressive this year, I don't entirely agree just because these people that they're calling up now just weren't ready last year. So I think this is just a case of the Yankees were obviously very good last year. It didn't end well. Small sample size in the playoffs obviously was very frustrating. But now they have all these reinforcements. Like Jason Dominguez goes down, they call it Spencer Jones, who we're going to talk about today. If Volpe and Caballero underperform, Lombard is right there waiting. We have lots of different pitchers coming up. ERC came up, made a couple spot starts. Lagrange, Lagrange. Did we ever get a confirmation on
Legrand,
that one?
we got a confirmation. It's Legrand.
Lagrange's coming up at some point soon. I would be surprised if he doesn't at least make a bullpen appearance towards the end of the year. We got guys now,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna bury the lead a tiny bit. Do you know the Yankees have the most top 100 prospects in the AL East?
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. Feels
it's
like we've
really
come a far way in a few years with the farm. Like I remember at the end of
yeah.
2023, things were looking pretty bleak.
Yeah, we had like zero, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's over, it's over, it's over."
Yeah.
Dog, just simply make more top
hmm
100 prospects. Not that hard.
Simply, the Brian Cashman solution, as they call it, and I know that there are people that have talked a lot about the Yankees northeastern like region scouting department, and I want to look a little bit more into that because I know that they've done a lot of changes themselves like within that department, and I'd be interested to know more about that. But obviously, it's whatever they're doing, it's working. The organization just seems to be churning out major league ready depth at a rate that really, I mean, we haven't seen from this team in a while, and not a lot of teams are able to produce. I mean, I've heard from interviews and stuff. I forget who said it, but somebody said that they talked to a rival executive and they said that they don't even know where this is coming from. But I mean, obviously the Yankees made a few big swings on trades with prospects over the last few years. Soto, namely. I mean, they sent uh, obviously some major league players with Michael King and Kyle Higashioka, but they sent Drew Thorpe and I want to say
Randy
another
Vasquez.
Randy Vasquez, yeah, and there was one other. But anyways, they sent a lot, and a lot of their players have also graduated into major league status, and so and the farm has been really decimated by injuries in the last few years. So it's
We'll
nice
get
to see
to more of that
them
later.
rebounding. But yeah, it's a good time in Yankees land. I think before we continue, I forgot to bring this up at the start, but obviously, rest in peace to John Sterling.
Yeah.
That's really unfortunate, and that was really sad to hear. But I was at the game on Monday, and they did a lot of really nice tributes. They played the Yankees win at the end, and that was nice. Judge hit that bomb to center
I
to.
saw, I think it was Boone saying that he thinks that they should play like the Yankees
Hmm.
win into Sinatra every game, and I think that'd be cool.
It was
I
nice.
would, I would absolutely not mind that as a
I enjoyed
permanent
it.
fixture.
It was fun.
Something to note before we go into the people who are already on the farm is that the Yankees have really done all of these like rebuilding and making these people into top prospects with some pretty ass international scouting. We talked about this going into the year, but they fired their director of international scouting. They basically lost like their next three international classes because they backed out of all the deals that their previous regime had gotten them into. And I think in like 4 years' time, if we still are doing so well with the local U.S. scouting, and obviously it's not like we're not getting nobody from abroad,
Right.
but if we can get the like high-end abroad talent to be good, like you imagine if we had like our own like Fernando Tatis or any of these other like Dominican superstars, like
Yeah.
you can only imagine how good we'd be then. But I think like 5 years time, if we can continue what we're doing now and add on like the international aspect, like the Yankees are going to be really cooking.
Hmm. On like a Dodger level, I think
Yeah,
that the Yankees could, if they make the right swings on this international scouting department changes. I think I totally agree. We could be we could be really pushing, because this is the traditional Yankee model of success. It's really high end homegrown talent surrounded by the best that money can buy, and that really is what you have here. You have Aaron Judge and Ben Rice leading your lineup, and then you have Garrett Cole and Max Fried and Carlos Rodon, who were all brought in
Cody
from
Bellinger.
Cody Bellinger, who's a free agent, and talent acquired through trades that you used your developed talent to acquire. David Bednar, Jazz Chisholm, which by the way, Augustin Ramirez was just optioned to AAA. So
Cash God success.
cash god success once again. And so yeah, it's a good time to be a Cashman believer. For a few years there, it was pretty rough, but I think
Yeah.
I think they really did take some of the lessons of like the late 2010s, early 2020s, and they've adjusted. They've stopped giving it seems, albatross contracts to aging players, and I don't want to hear anything about Cody Bellinger. I mean, if it's early, it's very early, but it's I feel like May, you're to a point where you can feel confident that what a player's doing, he's going to extend through the year. And
Yeah.
Cody Bellinger looks as good as he has since his Dodger days. I mean, his chase rate is way down, his walks are way up, he's hitting the ball harder. I actually don't know his bat speed, but I think
It's not good, but he
it's not
doesn't.
good, but he's never
It's
been a
better.
bat
It's not
speed
going
guy.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that was what a lot of people were worried about. But
He's pulling the ball in the air, and that's what
yeah,
you need him to do at Yankee Stadium.
so last year his average exit velocity was 88.3 miles per hour. This year it's 90. So
Yeah.
I mean, and he's still like you just said, he's maintaining that.
Plays excellent defense. He's on pace to put up like 5, 6 WAR maybe this year. And if he has like even 3 seasons where he puts up like 5, 6 WAR, and then he's only putting up maybe like between 2 and 4 the rest of the contract, then even in the last years it's bad. Like let's say the last 2 years of the contract are awful. Like you already got everything you wanted out of Cody Bellinger. That's just how contracts work. You can't have everyone be elite throughout the entirety of their massive deal. Like by the end of Judge's contract, it'll be like, damn, we're paying Judge 40 million a year. This guy fucking sucks. Like, come on, that's not how it works. You gotta pay. You pay for the early production, and then you deal with the back end. So Cody Bellinger, good job so far. It was looking a little dire for a second, but he loves his April dog shit gimmick.
Yeah,
So
he needs that. You know what I think? I think the rumors of him being stoned in the games are overblown, and he smokes once a year on 420, and like. And
gets him
that's
back
why
in the
like
groove.
his splits every year before and after 420 are always really funny, and I think he just like that puts him back in his groove, and maybe like that last month is like he's struggling a little bit and he's got his mind elsewhere, but after that he's good. And so yeah, very happy to see Cody Bellinger's continued success. Hopefully
Let's
that
talk
can,
prospects.
yeah, let's talk some prospects.
Obviously, the big one right now, Spencer Jones getting called up. Jason Dominguez left the game yesterday with a shoulder injury. I think he passed concussion protocol, so he's not concussed. Made a great catch, ran into the wall, just really tough for him. Obviously, like he's had a ton of injuries that just really aren't his fault. Like getting Tommy John as a position player is crazy, especially because he was having such an electric debut.
Yeah.
Comes back last year, has problems. Comes back this year, really is playing pretty well. Like he hadn't even made any like horrible defensive gaffes that I can remember
There was
since
a
he came
great
out.
play he was
Yeah, it
making.
was a great play. And she's crying on the way out, like just obviously very tough. Apparently it's a low grade shoulder strain, so he will be healthy soon. But in the meantime, Spencer Jones, who's the Yankees' number 6 prospect, is getting called up. Leads all of baseball, the minor leagues and the major leagues in runs batted in, which is hilarious. He's like 40 or
Yeah,
something.
I think it's actually like 40. It was 41 the last time I checked. It could be up now. I know there was a game that he hit like a grand slam and a home run, I think, or
Yeah,
like a bases clearing double or something like that. So
a
that
lot of
helps.
ribbies.
But
But he is probably the most polarizing prospect in all of baseball. He's not actually ranked in the MLB Top 100. It really depends on who you ask whether or not they think he's going to be awful or he's going to be really good.
yeah,
And we've seen a couple guys this year with like real 3 true outcome players. Like Murakami is obviously hitting the shit out of the ball right now. He's I think the leader in home runs, tied with Judge, or maybe Jamie Judge passed him by one. But regardless, this 3 true outcome guy is having success in baseball today. But nobody destroys baseballs like he does. So if he can just connect with like one homer to like in the next 3 games, I think everyone will be wanting to see more Spencer Jones.
dude, if he hits a home run off of Jacob Misiorowski tonight, I'm gonna be pushing crazy narratives.
Yeah, Mizrowski throws genuinely like 102 every pitch.
Yeah,
So if Jones can make contact, that's the challenge. He needs to make contact, which seems unlikely, but if he does, that thing could go like 800 feet.
yeah. So I just looked this up. I saw somebody I saw somebody post about this a while back. I didn't know this, but Fangraphs actually has a 3 true outcomes leaderboard. So on the TTO percentage, Munetaka Murakami is in first at 60.6, and Ben Rice is actually 11th on this
That's
list
why he's so
at
ethical.
50%. He's
That's
so
why we
ethical,
love him
dude.
on this pod.
And I'm very excited to see Spencer Jones hopefully join this list because that would be incredible for all of our narratives if he was just if he listen. I don't give a shit about strikeouts if he's just destroying baseballs into the seats or denting the wall. Like I just listen. Like this is we don't need him to be elite. We just need him to be fine. Like if he
Yeah.
comes out and he's striking out a ton, but he's playing elite center field defense, and when he gets on base, he's making good use of his speed, because he that's another thing. He's a really good base runner. Like then like I'm not gonna like be like, oh my god, Spencer Jones is striking out. Who could have seen this coming? Send him back. Like that.
He's also a great
that's the thing.
defender.
Yeah,
like he does get value out of his defense and his base running. Like Murakami, if he's not hitting home runs, he's useless.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's one of the most negative assets in baseball.
Yeah.
But at least you can say with Jones that even if he's not hitting immediately, he's at least providing some value. He will walk. He's increased his walk percentage last year coming to this year a pretty significant amount. He went from well below average to just a little bit above average. He's sitting at like a 13% walk rate on the year. Nobody in baseball whiffs more than Spencer Jones does, and nobody in baseball makes less contact inside the strike zone than Spencer Jones does. But, you know, he's kind of gotten over a little bit of a hump last year, which was that he was swinging outside of the strike zone a little bit too much. He's improved a little bit on that, which will hopefully help him not just get bullied by major league pitchers just never putting it in the zone for him in the first place. But, I think people should really it's fine to be excited, but like temper your expectations a little bit. This in more realities than not, this will not go well on the offensive side for Spencer Jones.
Yeah, and again, that's fine. I honestly I'm not a big believer in the bat, but I'm buying in just because he's here. And really, I didn't expect this. I mean, I guess it took an injury for it to happen, and I when it would be interesting to see what happens if Spencer Jones, the bat does translate, and Dominguez comes back and there's some competition there. But dude, Trent Grisham is really, really good. Like, I know
Yeah,
the expected, or the results really haven't come, but like all of the expected results are actually better than they were last year. And like, he's striking out less, he's walking more, he's hitting the
Trent's
ball
good.
harder. I am not opposed to keeping Trent around long term. Uh,
He is only 29. That's actually kind of crazy.
yeah,
I
like,
assumed he was like
I'll
31.
just push that out on the table.
He just can't really play defense. Like if he was a great
Yeah.
defender, like I'd be all in. But he's like, where are you gonna put him? Maybe he can move over to a corner spot and he'd be better.
Hmm.
But he just doesn't really have good range at this point, and he's slow. I don't really understand. Like we've talked about this before in the pod. Like I don't really understand how you can go from being like one of the fastest people in baseball 5 years ago, at age like 25, to one of the like well below average in terms of sprint speed and range
It happened
before
quickly
you hit
too.
30, but that doesn't really strike me as something that I want to be invested long term. But we don't have to argue about that. Like in
Yeah.
the short term, I love Trent. It's going to be hard to decide between these outfielders going forward. Like if
Hmm.
Stanton's injured, I think it's easy just because like Jason will play DH, or Jason or Spencer will DH or play, like maybe even you put Trent at DH, honestly.
Yeah.
Put Jones in center. I feel like that's a much better defensive outfield. I don't know if you can do that because of the ego
That's a
and
that's
because
a
he's a
big
veteran, but
outfield. Like, just
yeah. How tall
physically
is Cody?
large. I think he's like 6'3" or something.
Yeah, he's 6'3".
Perfect. Bam.
That's a like 6'3", 6'7", 6'7". So I don't know. I'm excited though. I think either way, things will either go very well or very poorly. I don't
Yeah.
think it's gonna be much in between. But that's kind of the Spencer Jones experience.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I love big boomer bust players like that. I don't like this small ball Brewer bullshit that we're gonna have to put up with this weekend. The amount of bunts, like, I can't. This is gonna be a brutal series. I'm very happy we only have to play them once a
The
year.
Brewers are evil, bro. Yeah, this
They
is
really
gonna
are.
be. We're gonna need Ryan McMahon to step up that bunt defense,
Yeah.
bro. The Yankees pitchers are generally pretty good at fielding their positions though, which does
Hmm.
make me feel relatively confident.
Yeah, and we, especially with Max Fried going tonight, like, that's a good jumping
Many,
off
many
point.
time Gold Glove winner,
Yeah.
Max Fried. Moving on, George Lombard got moved up to AAA, which is awesome. He's the Yankees' top prospect. He's a shortstop, but he also has been playing second base and third base, just because obviously the Yankees are afraid to say to Volpe or Caballero that he's going to take their job.
Hmm.
Maybe that's not as true though, because Volpe got sent down, which we're going to get to in a second. But ever since moving to AAA, he's walking a ton, which is great. I'm sure you have a lot to say about him, so I'll let you go.
Yeah. So he, like you said, he is walking a lot. He's 99th percentile in walk rate right now. He's actually like destroying left-handed pitching right now. If you look at his like splits, Savant, his, sorry, I lost it, but he has, I think, like an above 500 ex woba against left-handed pitching right now, which is crazy. And if he can get that barrel percentage up, it's really kind of the only thing that's holding him back right now. He had a 0% barrel rate the other day, but now I checked and he's a 5% barrel rate.
Small
So,
sample, so
we're getting there, and that's really all it is at this time, is a small sample size. But if he can continue doing what he's doing, he's taking walks, he's not striking out a lot, he's making good contact, hitting the ball hard, and playing incredible defense. Brian Cashman said when they promoted him to AAA that they believe he's major league ready on the defensive level
yeah,
at the
clearly
time of the
is.
promotion. And so if that bat continues to translate, and this is the, I guess, the conversation piece that I want to propose to you, uh, who do you think, when Caballero inevitably cools off, because I just haven't seen any sort of under the hood, everything under the hood frankly looks worse, and that's going to crater soon maybe. And like, at what point do you think they would call up Lombard over Volpe? Because Volpe does not look that good in
Yeah, he really hasn't looked good since he
AAA.
comes back. The thing I want to say with Lombard to kind of like put a little cold water on it is that he doesn't really swing,
Mm-hmm.
which is something that really won't work at the major league level. Like in Double A, before he came up, he was only swinging like 39% of the time, which is very, very low. And he was making some contact in the zone, but he was making below average amounts of contact in zone. And then moving up to AAA, he's swinging basically never. Like he's swinging 35% of the time, which is why he's walking so much. So he's walking 26% of the time basically. He's not striking out. But he's also not swinging when the pitches are in the zone. He's in the 18th percentile of zone swing rate,
Mm-hmm.
which is a little weird just because command at the minors is not as good, so you can kind of get away with just keeping the bat on your shoulder because these guys, they're trying to work on stuff. They're trying to work on new pitches. Like sometimes they just don't have it and they'll chuck it 5 feet out of the zone. It's easy to take. I would like to see a little bit more aggressiveness from him just to show that he can hit pitches when they're in the zone. And I think that will also, if he starts doing that, it'll increase his barrel rate. 'Cause it's hard to barrel up balls when you're only swinging however many times per in the zone. Like that's
Yeah.
why he had literally zero barrels because he's just not swinging that much.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a very strange profile so far. Like when he does swing, he hits the ball pretty hard. Like he has a great xwOBA. He's a decent enough regular WOBA.
Yeah.
He's 90% exit velocity is pretty hard. His max exit velocity at AAA isn't great, but again, it's a tiny sample. Like max EV is literally just you need to hit it hard one time to raise your
Right.
max EV. So I'm not too worried about that. Max EV only matters like in your career. Like once you set a max EV, like that's your new power ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I don't know if this is like coaching telling him like learn the strike zone, don't swing, or he's just doing this on his own. Because this is true of like rehab starts as well, but you really don't like taking minor league numbers at face value doesn't really work just because you have no idea like what the coaches are telling you. You don't know what these people are working on. You don't know if they're going out there trying to like you don't know if they're telling him George, go out there and take your walks. Like go out there and learn the strike zone
Mm-hmm.
with these pitchers that are probably better than they are in Double A. Or you don't know if they're just being like, get out there, do your thing, and this is what he's deciding to do. So, in terms of your original question, like, when do you think they're going to call him up? I think it would take a lot to get him to come up this year. I think that moving him up to AAA made the chances in my mind go from 0 to like maybe 50-50 by the end of the year. But I would say cautious. Be cautious on throwing him up there too early, especially considering the Yankees are winning. Like we
Yeah.
don't really need to expose him and maybe like screw up his development a little bit. I think we did call up Volpe too early, which probably didn't help him in the long run because we felt like we needed that
Mm-hmm.
shortstop position filled. And I feel like we should learn from that and be a little bit more cautious with Lombard and let him really cook a little bit longer.
I guess that's fair. I'm more saying like if Caballero cools off and it's just like a cratering position and Volpe's not playing well in AAA and Lombardi is playing really well in AAA and making the adjustments you want. I mean, is throwing Volpe back out there productive? Because the base running mistakes and the fielding mistakes that have gotten worse since they optioned him instead of bringing him back, that to me just says mental. Like he let a ground ball go like right through his legs the other night, and it's just like it's
At this point though, like what do you like it's over. Like
yeah,
if you can't figure it out, like it's just that's it.
that's what I'm saying.
And I don't think there's, but I agree with you in that. But I think if it's really over, you gotta just give him like one more chance at the major league level just to figure it out. If the Yankees are not like tail spinning,
Mm-hmm.
like if the Yankees are winning, if and Caballero's not playing well, like bring him up, see if like give him one more shot, because like he has juice in the tank. Like he's had stretches in his major league career where he's been good. Like he's obviously was an excellent defender for 2 years basically.
Mm-hmm.
If he can't mentally do it, like there's nothing you can really do about that, and you got to cut your losses at some point. But I think I'd rather give Volpe one more chance if Caballero is struggling, and then bring up Lombard than just skip over Volpe in the first place to bring up Lombard. Because if it is mental and Lombard's up, like it's really over for Volpe. Like I don't know how you pull yourself out of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think I think it's like a toxic relationship at this point. And honestly, like not even like I was talking about this and like last night with my sister, and I may have brought this up on the podcast one time. I went to a Yankee game last summer, in August, I want to say, and the booing of Anthony Volpe was vicious. Like every time he went up to the plate, this was in one of the middle of the really bad stretches. It was every time he went to the plate in the middle of his roll call, like when he was making bad plays at short, like it was just nonstop and worse than I've ever heard it. And I don't know. I just think like
It's not ideal.
the organization might give him a chance, but he's almost just become like and that's the other thing. He's a national pariah at this point. I mean, the other fan bases are watching him at all times to make fun of him. I think it's just a very toxic situation, and I think at this point, before his trade value gets any worse, I think it's time.
I don't think he really has any trade value at this point, really.
I don't think so either, but like I mean, I think you could maybe flip him for like a reliever or something at this point.
If Lombard's like really cooking, like if he's really cooking, I could see that. But
Hmm.
until then, like I think I just can't. We can't be calling up Lombard too soon. Like
Yeah.
especially if they're winning, you know.
Hmm.
But
I
anyway,
no, I agree with you there. If they're winning, I mean, there's no reason to mess it up.
I think we can move on
Yeah,
to
I agree.
the rest of the farm. I mentioned this at the top of the show, but the Yankees have the most top 100 prospects in MLB pipeline right now, which I thought was really funny. The Blue Jays have 3, the Red Sox have 3, the Rays have 2, and the Orioles have one singular guy at like number 80. They're cooked, dude.
That's
Their
and
farm
that I mean,
sucks.
what a reversal of the last few years. I mean,
They simply cannot develop unless they get the number 1 pick
yeah,
every single year.
and
And even
even
those
then,
number 1 picks become bad.
yeah,
How's
Colton
Jackson
Cowser
Holiday doing?
sucks. I mean, not he wasn't the first overall, but
He's a
Colton
top
Cowser's not
prospect.
good. Adley sucks. I mean,
He's been
he's been
alright.
better, but
I'm not buying it though,
me neither.
at
Not
all.
yet.
Gunnar
Gunnar,
has like a 200 on base.
and I mean, he's been worse at defensively this year.
Did he get like a single hit in the entire series that we played against them?
I am not sure, but yeah, his fielding run value this
End your
year
shit,
is
bro.
is below average.
He's a sub 700 OPS. His
Oh, I guess it
brother
always has been.
stinks.
Yeah, Gunnar. Wow, and
Remember
wow,
when he
dude,
was like an MVP
look at his savant.
candidate? Yeah, it's bad. It's real
Yeah.
bad. Even last year, his like savant was like he was bad last year for most of the year, but his savant was always like he might turn around, but yeah, it's like
Yeah.
very bad. We're getting sidetracked. We're getting
Right.
sidetracked.
Yeah.
They have George Lombard at 25. They have Carlos Legrand at 67. They got ERC at 70, and they got Dax Kilby at 81. So I'm just gonna run through the top guys real quick. I'll do
Yeah.
Dax Kilby first, just because he's injured. He came up. He was drafted last year. I think he was their first pick. He was number like 38 question mark. And he really lit it up. He's a high school player, but he was hitting the ball absurdly hard. He was not striking out. He was just playing way, way, way better than his age would suggest. But he started the year with a hamstring issue, and he has yet to debut after spring training. It's kind of unclear what exactly is going on there, but I'm sure it doesn't look like something that is like super serious. It just looks like something that's lingering, and they don't want to rush him into it because at the end of the day, if you miss 20 games of high A ball, like it's not the biggest deal. Ben Hess is another top prospect, not in the top 100, but one of the more important Yankees pitching prospects. He's dealing with arm fatigue. That's not me speculating, like that's what they've described him. He's on the IL right now, but his larger situation is pretty unclear. It's a little concerning, even though the quotes around him from the manager down there have been relatively positive, but kind of keep an eye on that. Like, we've obviously seen a lot of these things where it's like, oh, he's just tired, and then 2 days later they need elbow surgery.
Yeah.
So a little weird. The Yankees have had a lot of pitchers, especially go down with Tommy John down on the farm, like Chase Hampton, he was like a mega riser a couple
Dude,
years ago, and just Tommy John
that
kind of fell off the face of the earth.
the
He's
Chase
coming back
Hampton
now, though.
the Chase Hampton story breaks my heart. I really hope he like works his way back. I always really liked him. He was a cool prospect. I would like to see him have some success.
I think he's still, yeah, like Tommy John,
I
like you can come back from that. So
I remember I was like a casual for the viewers. I was like a casual baseball fan up until not even just like kind of watch games every now and again up until like 2021, 2022. And I remember like one of the first off-season like trade. I was looking at like prospects to trade and stuff like that, and Chase Hampton was like the first Yankee prospect I ever really did like a deep dive into. So I'm hoping for Chase Hampton.
Let's talk about LeGrand. So he's the Yankees' top pitching prospect right now. Obviously, we saw him in spring training. Has super electric stuff. Chucks 100 on average, basically. So far, results-wise, not so good to start the year. He's sitting at close to a 5 ERA right now. He has a 30% strikeout rate and a 13% walk rate. It's really that he's just had pretty serious problems giving up home runs. He's given up nearly 2 home runs per 9 innings, which is absurd. His career average is under 1, and that's including the 2 home runs per 9 that he's rocking right now. He has a 22% home run per fly ball ratio, which basically means like 22% of the time when a hitter hits a fly ball, it's leaving the yard, and that's unsustainable. Like the average rate is right around like 11%. His career is down below 10%. And obviously when you're throwing hard, like the exit velocity coming off is usually higher, which means that if they get it in the air, it's more likely to leave, but it's not this bad. Like this is just bad luck. AAA ballparks are weird. Sometimes the wind is blown out. There's no big stands out there to do that, so I'm not too concerned about LeGrand going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I actually didn't know that much about his. He's sort of having some fly ball home run issues, so that's enlightening. But something that I did hear, and I have the stats right now, something that's encouraging for this year, because I really don't think there's a lane for him as a starter. I never really thought that even in spring training when he was electric. I was like, get him in the pen immediately. And just because we really do, I mean, we have a wealth of starters, and it would really, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If we get to a point where Carlos Legrand is making consistent starts, a lot of things have gone terribly wrong, and the season's probably over. Um,
Yeah, it's a lot of injuries.
so, just looking at his splits, obviously small sample size, but these so in the first, second, and third innings, he has 7 innings pitched for all three, and then for the fourth and fifth, it's 5.2 and 1.2. So his ERA goes. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. His ERA goes from 1.29 to 0, but with a higher WHIP. So that's probably with some left on base luck. And then in the third inning, it jumps to 6.43. In the fourth, 11.12, and in the fifth, 10.8. So, and then so looking at the strikeouts, it's the same thing. It goes from 10 to 12 to 9 to 5 to 2. The walks stay relatively the same. The home runs go up, the WHIP goes up. What I'm seeing is Carlos Legrand would be fucking electric in this bullpen, especially as I love Fernando Cruz. I'm not a Fernando Cruz hater. I'm a Fernando Cruz warrior.
Yeah.
I'm noticing. I'm worrying. I'm concern maxing about Fernando Cruz. I think a crater is coming, and Carlos Legrand would be just perfect. I mean, just
You can have both though.
you could. And listen, I'm dude. Fernando Cruz and Carlos Legrand both being good is obviously the preferred outcome. But I'm saying, think about this: Carlos Legrand 7, 100 miles per hour. Camilo Doval 8, 100 miles per hour. David Bednar 9th, 97 miles per hour. He's getting his velo back. Like that is a flame throwing bullpen. And him till. and Jake Bird has been better. I mean, he's pretty on and off. It goes back and forth, but like this, getting Carlos Legrand in this pen, with or without Fernando Cruz being good, would just be such an upgrade. Especially, I mean, looking at these inning splits, it's pretty obvious what the solution is for this year, especially with no lane for him to be a starter.
I'm like pretty sure I understand what the move should be, or at least what Cashman thinks the move should be. It's that I think his stuff is too valuable to throw him in the bullpen right now. I think you use most of the year to develop him as a starter, and then towards the end of the year, especially when rosters expand, you can call him as a reliever and prepare him to be a playoff reliever. Because I think, like, obviously his stuff is good enough that he ideally should be a guy that's coming out of the starting rotation. Like him throwing 100 like Cam Schlittler or whatever, obviously that'll play massively.
Yeah.
But I think we've seen like Clark Schmidt, like look at him. Like he started as a reliever basically. He came out of the pen in the playoffs as a reliever a lot, and it's been smooth sailing for him as a starter. Besides, like obviously he got injured, but that had nothing to do with his development.
He was really good, like on a
Yeah,
really hot stretch right before he got injured.
yeah, he was awesome. And I think that using him as a reliever this year for the playoffs is just a perfect way to kind of make it so that we're gonna have the best of both worlds here. Like next year, we can use him as a starter. This year, get him to use out of the pen towards the end of the year. Hopefully, get great results on both ends.
I agree.
ERC, we can still call him ERC, Elmer Rodriguez,
Yes.
even though he dropped the Cruz from his hyphenated last name. Came up and made his first 2 major league starts. They did not go particularly well, and he's been sent back down to prepare for Rodon's imminent return. He had nearly a 20% walk rate in those 2 starts, which just kind of seems to me like he was a little nervous. Like, clearly I think he was just a little intimidated by giving up bombs to major league hitters, so he's a
Yeah.
little afraid to put in the zone. I'm not too worried. Like, 2 start sample size, he's walking twice as many people as he normally does. He's going back down to AAA. He gets more time to cook. The only thing that really concerned me in that was that his fastball was real bad. Like
Hmm.
his four seamer was just awful. It like a, do you know what the stuff plus in his four seamer was?
No,
70.
not great.
And he's a sinker guy. Like he throws a sinker
Yeah.
more than that, but you would like for him to have 2 fastballs, and
Right.
at the moment that is not what he has.
Yeah.
So until then, any thoughts on him? What you obviously watched?
Yeah, I mean my thoughts on debuting prospects is I'm generally less worried when the stuff is like outlier bad and like he's walking an absurd amount of hitters and whatever like that to me just tells me nerves and adjustments and things like that and he's going to go down and need more time and listen like I don't think anyone was really I'm sure he was prepared, but I don't think anyone was really expecting him to come up this early and listen, he was serviceable. It's not like he, couldn't get out of an inning. I think he threw over 4 innings both times, and he in the second start he definitely rebounded really well. After the first inning, he was much better, and he was getting the ground balls that he usually gets. He's never been like an overpowering stuff swing and miss guy. He's always been more of a ground ball pitcher. So it was
Yeah.
nice to see him get kind of into a groove of where he normally sits. And yeah, I didn't really see anything that was like this worries me long term. Obviously, the fastball's concerning, but again, that's like outlier bad, and
And he's a sinker guy. Like
yeah,
you want him to have a better four seam to complement the sinker, but you don't need it.
right.
So overall, like, and again, like he's not really going to be that big of a deal on the major league roster to begin
Yeah,
with. So don't worry about it.
I ain't.
That's my take on the matter.
Yeah, that's the River Ave Radio stamped and endorsed.
Don't worry
take.
about
Don't
it.
worry about it.
Caden Kent is just kind of the throw-in guy I want to mention right here. They drafted him in the 3rd round last year, son of recent Hall of Fame inductee Jeff Kent. Hope he's not a total asshole like his dad was. I don't know if you've seen any of the stories about Jeff Kent, but
I
like,
have
God,
not
that
now.
guy fucking sucks. But hopefully he doesn't come to the major leagues and you have to deal with adult Jeff Kent like on a broadcast or something. Oh my God, I hate him. But anyway, I'm assuming he's a good guy. Third round pick. He's running a 913 OPS in high A with 9 stolen bases, only 1 caught stealing. Walked 14 times to only 19 strikeouts, and as a whole, just making really great swing decisions. So he'll likely be in Double A sooner rather than later. So just a name to keep an eye on.
Nice. I honestly had not heard anything about him, so thank you
Yeah,
for
he's a
bringing
he's
that
a
to everyone's
baller.
attention. I'll definitely be keeping an eye out in the future, but I'm good on prospects unless you got anything else.
No, I think we're gonna do a very brief Brewers series, but I want to just mention Rodon first.
Yeah, Rodemon, he's coming back.
He's back.
The
Go
numbers
back.
on the rehab start, I mean, you really shouldn't read that much into them, but they have been encouraging. A 3.38 ERA with like a 25% K rate, 4.7 walk rate. The velocity is like in normal range. It's lower on some pitches. It's in regular range on others. But again, him building up. It's essentially his spring training, so I'm not super worried about that. I think just
He looks like he did last year, which is what you want. Like the
exactly.
stuff is good, the velocity is good enough. Like all these things are ideal, more or less.
And yeah, I would just Carlos Rodon is a completely different pitcher than the one that we signed coming into this, and I just want to see him continue to develop that really nasty changeup, and continue to put that in use, because when he's on, he's really just an absolute beauty to watch. I love Rodon. I think it's great. It's so rare, and so many people have said this, but it's so rare, if it's ever happened, for a player to be as bad as he was in 2023 and get better, and not even get better, but he was an all-star last year. Like you at the end of 2023, you're sitting there thinking, like, at best you're going to have to be happy with like a 4-5, league leader in strikeout guy, and just take that and run. But he whipped that around and had a fine 2024 campaign. Had an elite, not you know what? Yeah, he was elite. He was a top 10 pitcher in the American League.
He was great.
And he was great. And I'm not going to back down from that. And
I want to see like him kind of overcome some adversity here, because obviously like the first year was so awful, and it kind of came from he didn't have spring training. He was injured for the whole year. Came back, like really just couldn't pull himself out of that. The rehab stuff looks very encouraging to make me not worried about it too much.
Yeah.
But I do want to just kind of see him come out there and just immediately look good. No bad body language, weird bullshit, anything like that,
We're rolling right now. Just keep it going and
keep the good vibes coming.
Slide. And I think that's a big part of his success. Like, I think in 2023, he kind of came in here expecting to be the ace, and then Garrett Cole not only was his normal self, but won a Cy Young. And I think since then he's learned to just like take a step back and be a part of the team and appreciate the immense wealth of talent that's surrounding him. Especially, I mean, can you imagine if Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon are like as good as they could be? Just not only will it be an amazing rotation, but just like the wealth of knowledge and experience at the top of that rotation. Like Garrett Cole, Max Fried, and Carlos Rodon is like a historic rotation. And then you have like rookie phenom Cam Schlittler in
literally
there as well.
Cy Young favorite.
Cy Young favorite rookie phenom Cam Schlittler. Will Warren, who's been really good up until this start against Texas, but again, I'm not worried. Ryan Weathers has been fantastic. Like this is, and it's obvious that the effects of these veteran guys are bleeding into these younger guys. Like Cam Schlittler credits his success entirely to Garrett Cole. And it's really great to see. I love it. I think it's great. I think there are a lot of people that just love baseball on this team and like live and breathe the sport. And this team's hungry. I love this team. I was so happy when they decided to run it back. I think one of the earliest things that we said on this podcast was that I was higher on last year's team than most. And I'm really happy that everybody's been getting to see what I've seen in this team for the last year. Like this team was what I thought last year's team could have been.
Yeah. And obviously a lot more season to play, but so far so good.
Yeah. And I think like the rotation, like the rotation was really good last year as well, and they were on a hot streak similarly at the start of the year, and then it kind of fell apart, but they're playing a much better brand of defense. They're running the bases much more aggressively, but they're not like getting caught stealing crazy or anything like that. Like they're
good,
smart.
It's good aggression.
They're really, really good aggressively base running, and the offense has rebounded from the start of the year slump, and the pitching has been not fit. You want to know what has moved me the most about the pitching?
Tell me.
And this was one of the very first things that we said when we set out and did this podcast, was that we wanted to see less walks from the Yankee pitching staff. And as a whole, the Yankees have the fourth lowest walk rate in baseball, and the starting rotation has the seventh lowest. So
that's what you want.
They are pounding the zone, and you love to see it. And I think it's great.
Yeah. So Brewers series is on deck.
Yeah, sorry.
They
got away from myself there.
They literally were the best team in baseball last year in the regular season. I think they actually had the best ro- record of anybody. This year, it's been kind of middling so far. The rotation, though, is definitely their strong suit,
Hmm.
and we are getting some real heaters here. Brandon Woodruff right now is hurt, which is probably a good thing for them. I don't think he's actually very good, but we're
Yeah,
going to be facing Jacob Mizorowski, who averages like 100 on his fastball with 7 feet of extension, so it's perceived velocity of like 108 basically. They strike everybody out, first percentile in K rate. We got Kyle Harrison, who the Red Sox traded for some reason because they're terrible at everything. And we got, lastly, Logan Henderson, who's a rookie, but he has a lot of juice in the tank as well. So, overall, what are you feeling?
some fun pitching matchups this weekend, dude. Misiorowski versus Fried, Schlittler versus Kyle Harrison, and Rodon versus Logan Henderson. Like that's awesome. That's great baseball.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think if we're gonna lose a series, it might be this one. You know what? We've been really good against good pitching though. Is the thing. Like
Yeah, I'm
I feel
I'm
like they
I'm in
might.
on this team. I'm not going into this expecting a loss.
I don't know. I Misiorowski is just so good and
He
he's
is quite
filthy,
good.
but I don't know. I think our pitching is going to have to win this series. I think.
We
And
got the good pitching this matchups. It's not like
okay,
we're going into this as slackers.
you know what? I'll say this. Yeah, exactly. And so it's our top of the rotation versus their top of the rotation. And one thing that this Brewers rotation gets a lot of is chases. Jacob Misiorowski gets elite chase rates. Logan Henderson is unqualified, but his savant bubble is basically near the top at a 36% chase rate, and Kyle Harrison gets 33.9% chase rate. So the bullpen is good, but slightly worse than the starters. They're ninth in ERA, 14th in expected ERA, and 10th in strikeout rate. Take pitches. Like this, I know that earlier on in the season we were like, just swing, swing, swing. Take pitches, work the counts. Like, I don't know if this is necessarily going to be a big home run series, but and that's what we saw yesterday in the Texas game. They scored 9 runs without a home run, and I would love to see some gritty at bats. Spencer Jones excluded. I'm just
He might not start.
I
You
I
also gotta be aware that he might be on the bench
I
for.
pretend I do not see it if he does. And yeah, so take the pitches, try and get to the bullpen because the starting rotation
Dude,
is
Abner
nails.
Uribe, bro.
At
Might be seeing
Abima
Abner Uribe.
Uribe.
Legend in our fantasy league. And
Yeah.
McGill.
So what's your record prediction for this?
I'll give it the 2-1. I think we actually take the Mizorowski game. I think the Yankees do well at not swinging outside the zone, and obviously he's kind of effectively wild. Like he also doesn't usually go very deep into games, so we're gonna get to that bullpen pretty quickly. Obviously their bullpen is nothing to laugh at. It's not like their bullpen's bad, but I think we can take the Mizorowski game. I think we probably have a stinker in one of the Schlittler or Rodon games, but it like this is kind of like what the playoff rotation could look like going into a
Yeah.
playoff matchup. Like we have Fried, Schlittler, Rodon in order against basically their 3 best pitchers.
Hmm.
So either way, I think it'll be good baseball. I'm giving it a 2-1, but honestly, I could see literally anything happening.
I'm gonna give it a 2-1 as well. I think we win the Fried and Schlittler games. Schlittler didn't have like his best stuff on Monday, and he's generally the type to rebound from something like that. And Max Fried is brilliant. I don't think Rodon gives like a stinker. I think Rodon gives up like 3 runs, and it's just like a Sunday performance. And at that point we've already won the series. So what? I'm looking for good velo and like normal stuff from Rodon. I'm looking more at like the underlying numbers there. Obviously, if he delivers a gem, that would be ideal. But I'm gonna give it the two
Can't
and
win
one
them
as
all.
well. And who is one player that you and what do you want to see from them in this series?
I want to see Schlittler kind of get the command back under control. Like he had a bunch of walks in his last start. He was throwing harder than he ever has, but I would rather him throw like 98 with no walks than 101 with 4 walks. So I think he obviously cares very deeply about
Mhm.
not walking people, which is funny. So I think he obviously that's like one of his goals, and I just want to see him kind of dial it back in, give us like a solid 6 innings. I don't need like 12 strikeouts, especially considering the Brewers will not strike out. They're an evil baseball team. Give me like a solid 6 innings, and I'll be happy, Cam Schlittler.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I want to see an Austin Wells tank this
He
weekend.
did it last year.
He's been getting absolutely just hosed with luck, and I think I would just want to see him rip one and just run around the bases with like an exasperated kind of, all right, I'm here, I'm good, I can do it.
Settle down,
Um,
settle down.
which, speaking of Trent, who's been hitting into 200-mile-per-hour lineouts, gets 2 hits on bloopers this on yesterday on
Bases clearing
yesterday,
double too.
and the bases clearing double, but. It's just
Yeah,
fun.
I
It's
think
funny the
it's
way
really funny that the
baseball
Yankees'
works.
offense is so good when Austin Wells and Trent Grisham are both getting hosed by their
Yeah,
expected numbers,
and I mean
and Jazz Chisholm's been bad.
Judge hasn't really been like judging it yet. Yeah,
Like recently, yes,
he's
he's above
he's
a
getting
1.
there.
OPS. I'd say Judge has been at
But
least over the last couple weeks.
I'm just saying,
But anyway,
usually at this point he's hitting like 400,
he's
and
pulling 24.4% of his balls in the air, bro.
that I'm very encouraged by that. I was talking to someone at the Yankee game on Monday, and he was like, "Oh, but he's better when he goes oppo," and I'm like, "Dude, he's gonna
It's
lose
not
that
true,
as he
bro.
gets older."
Don't say that. Anyway, I think we're gonna
Pull
wrap it
fly
up
balls.
here. Go Yankees. Rip John Sterling. We love you, goat. And let's get this dub.
Yeah, sweep the Brewers
Nobody else explode your elbow. Elbows must stay
intact.
intact. Intact elbows. I'm not the guy to be talking about that.
I was gonna
Anyway,
say.
I'll see you guys later.